In this video, I will be showing you some of the configuration which you can set using Microsoft Copilot Studio. Now, a lot has been changed since I last did this video. At that time, the agent was called as Copilot. Now, here in the agent configuration, there are a couple of things which you can easily change, like the agent name, agent description. You can view the analytics, you can set the instructions for the agent, you can set up knowledge source. So knowledge source is now part of the entire overview setting through which you can add various knowledge source. Web search enablement, so if you want to enable the web search, if your LLM is not able to provide an answer with regards to a specific topic, or maybe you do not have a custom topic defined for a specific request, then you can enable web search to get more information and a proper response. You can add a trigger, you can connect other agents, topic management, you can suggest prompts. Now, these are the screen which I'm going to demonstrate shortly, but this is the most modern interface. As you see, everything is segregated in terms of details, analytics, instruction, knowledge. Then we have web search, tools, triggers, agents, topics, and also we have something on suggested prompts. If you navigate within an agent, you get more options in terms of generative AI, configure agent details, configure the security, connection settings, authoring canvas, configure the entity skills voice, set up language, language understanding configuration, and also work on the component collection. So this is how the left menu will look like. And all this information is all nicely segregated, like as you see, orchestration, connected agent. So you can even connect an agent, you can allow other agent to connect to this particular agent. So there are multiple ways through which you can build that multi-agent capability. You can format the response, you can select the gpt model, you can moderate the content level, and also you can set a switch to configure the knowledge. You can either use the general knowledge or use information from the web, and other file processing capabilities as you see over here, and then tenant graph grounding. Then you can configure other things like in terms of security, authentication, web channel security, authoring canvas, optimized canvas, activation threshold, agent details, changing the name, changing the icon, uh, configuring entities, configuring the voice, configuring skills, language, and component collection. So so that's about the configuration. So let's dive into the Copilot Studio interface. So I'm in copilotstudio.preview.microsoft.com. So here, if I navigate to the home, in the home page, I'll be able to see various agents which I have created. But if I navigate to a specific agent, so let me navigate to the air agent. Now here, uh, I can see various tabs: overview, knowledge, tools, agent, topics, activity, analytics, and channel. Now, if I want to configure something for an agent, first thing, go to the overview tab. Here, you can configure the icon for an agent. You can configure the name. But if you want to configure all those information, just click on edit so that you can change the name, you can change the icon, you can change the description. There is a tab to open analytics. So if you click on open analytics, it will open the analytics tab and it will show you the agent engagement or agent's key performance in the last 7 days, or any specific amount of period which you choose. So it will show you total runs, successful run, failed runs, and average duration. This is an important part for an agent. Instructions, you need to be very precise when you specify an instruction. Like as you see over here, I have put in a bulleted way. Provide information about airlines, focusing on crew size, aircraft models, number of aircraft, headquarters, and origin country. And also you can format the response as well. So you can say ensure responses are accurate and concise, use reliable sources, respond in a friendly and professional tone. From a knowledge perspective, you can add a knowledge. So if I click on add knowledge, I can add knowledge from various sources. I can select file from my PC. I can configure OneDrive. I can extract files from OneDrive. I can extract files from SharePoint, or maybe I can extract file from other system as well, like the public website, SharePoint, Azure AI, Dataverse, ServiceNow, Azure SQL, and other things. Now I'll create a separate video on that, but let's move on. Web search. If you want your agent to search all the public website, you need to enable this feature. Tools. If you want to empower the AI to complete specific task for further improved engagement, then you can use tools. So if I click on tools over here, it will allow me to select various flows, connectors, MCPs, model context protocol. So as you see over here, model context protocol, flow, connector, and I can select those and then attach it to an agent. Trigger. If you want to make this agent autonomous, you can set up your agent to activate when certain event happens. Now you can add multiple events over here. So I've just added one over here, and I have an option to test that trigger as well. So it will load the recent trigger and then I can start testing. I can connect multiple agents. So as you see, this agent has so many multiple agents connected. So it has a child relationship, it has a connected relationship. So one, there are few child agents, there are few just agents which has been connected, and there are some agents which are turned on and off as well. Going back to the overview tab, topics, I can add a topic over here, or alternatively, I can go to the topic section and add the topic. I have an option to edit, delete, and disable a specific topic. Suggested prompt, these are the prompts which are suggested by the system. I have an option to edit, and I can again further add like title, prompt, or maybe I can just remove the prompt which I don't need. So these are all like system generated. Now that's about the overview tab. But then if you want to do some more information, more configuration for your agent, click on settings, and then from here you will see a whole bunch of other settings like Gen AI settings. So if you want that orchestration, use generative AI orchestration for your agent's response. So if you select yes, then it uses Gen AI. The response will be dynamic using available tools and knowledge as appropriate. If no, it will use the classic orchestration, limiting response to the content and behavior defined in your agent's topic. So this is like the classic way of operating. You have a topic. If someone asks you about this, you go in a specific path and provide the response as what mentioned in the topic. But if you want to make it more generic, or maybe if you want to cater to n number of topics and not limited topics, make use of Gen AI. Deep reasoning, again an advanced topic. Enable advanced reasoning for AI action. It will exactly tell you why the agent has chosen that path to deliver that response. So that's about deep reasoning. I'll cover that in a very separate topic. I have a couple of use cases for that, so I'll show you that in my upcoming videos. Connected agents. Now if you want this agent to connect to other agent, this is an important switch you need to turn on so that that agent is available when that agent gets connected to some other agents. Responses, primary response model, you have an option to select the preview LLM, or you can select the default LLM. So, you can even format the response. So this is in preview state. So you specify the format and style of the agent's response. If this conflict with other instruction, these will override. So this area, if you say I want the so response to be in proper nouns as bold, or put it in a bulleted points, and if you write something in the agent, like let me show you that area as well. So there are a couple of ways through which you can specify the formatting option. So if I navigate to the agent which I showed you just a while ago in the overview tab, there is an area through which you can specify, like under instruction you can actually specify how should be the output be. So here you can just say I want the information to be in a bulleted way or in a paragraph way. Now whatever you type over here with regards to formatting will get overridden if something you have mentioned over here clashes with that specific work type. So if over there, if you say I want the response in, say, paragraph way, and here if you say I want the response in a bulleted way, then this will take that precedence. Also, we can configure the moderation level. Lower moderation increases the risk of harmful content. So if you want to have a system which needs higher moderation, you can expand this over here. So it gives you three different states. So this is the neutral one, and this one is like very high level of moderation. Now again, there is a pros and cons. Like if it's very high level of moderation, the response may not be that accurate which you require. When potential response get flagged by the content moderation, then we have an option to set something. So I can format this, I can put in fx, so power fx, I can even attach a link, and also I can put some text around here. Now, this is only when if a potential response get flagged. So this is your company's some message, your organization message which says, "Hey, this is protected under some rights or some documentation," and then you can provide that link to the user, so that the user does not ask for something which the user shouldn't ask with that specific agent. Knowledge, use general knowledge. So the foundational knowledge that the AI was trained on to ground your agent only with your specific knowledge source, turn this off. So if you just want to use your own knowledge source, just turn this off. You can use information from the web or not. You can turn this on or off accordingly. Now, again, if you turn this on, remember information coming from the web, it may not uh, reflect the current scope of knowledge which your organization prefer. So use it wisely, because once the information is searched on the web, it can search for any information, and not necessarily all the information may be correct. File processing capability, we have an option to configure the image upload. The user can upload images, png, webp, jpeg, and gif that agents can use in conversation. And the last option, tenant graph grounding with semantic search. Now this works mainly with Microsoft 365 Copilot subscriptions, so it can provide improved search performance. Availability varies by the data source, and once you do all this thing, you can just click on save. There are other settings related to agent details. So agent name, icon, then security. You can configure security with regards to. So this is an important part. If you want to have your bot no authentication, so you can select no. Authenticate with Microsoft specific product like Team, SharePoint, Power Apps, Copilot, you can select this. Or if you have your own set of authentication, you can configure that by creating an app registration, or maybe some third party provided details like the service provider, client ID, redirect URL, token exchange URL, login URL, and the tenant ID. There are various options: enter ID v2 with federated credential, ID v2 with certs, ID v2 with secrets, enter ID, and the generic OAuth 2. Connection settings, authoring canvas, entities, skills. All these options are available for you to configure. Entities are mainly around if you are drafting a topic and if you want the response to be of specific data format, you can select that. Like if you're asking a color, what product color would you like to order, then you can make use of this particular entity rather than asking for a generic response. Skills, if you're connecting to a bot framework, you can add a skill, you can configure that bot framework skills. Over here you can extend your agent's conversation capability by automating series of actions. Again, for a voice, you can optimize your agent for the dual tone multi-frequency inputs. That's mainly for advanced speech recognition. If you want to configure a bot for multiple languages, you can add multiple languages over here. You can select your primary languages, and then your bot will be multilingual. Language understanding, so that's all about natural language understanding. So if you just want a very quick, lightweight, and easiest way to get started, make use of Copilot Studio. NLU is a great choice. This is basically deciding how your agent responds during the conversation. Now you can also utilize Azure Natural Language Understanding, which is Azure Conversation Language Understanding, which may be a best option. But for that, you may need to specify that external connection. So you need to first create a resources within Azure portal.azure.com, and then specify those connections link over here. And once you do that, you should be like if I click on manage connections, it will take me to that connections over here in Power Apps, and then from here I need to create that new connection which will connect to, say, the external resource, like it's Microsoft Azure, and then I can configure that. Component collection. So if you are building a bot, and if your team is building a bot, and there are reusable component which you want to create, you can create a component collection. You can add component to a collection, and then component collection can then be used by different agents within your system. Finally, advance, you can connect application insights. I've already connected application insights by provisioning application insights application within Microsoft Azure, and logging all the activities in the uh, application insights record set. Metadata, I can see various information about the bot, like the environment ID, tenant ID, app ID, schema name, etc. Enhanced transcript, if I want to include node level details within the transcript, I need to turn the switch on. It will give you more information like the name, type, end time, start time in the transcript. And finally, if you want to view the solution, you can click on view solution, which will take you to uh, the solution page, specifically around Microsoft Copilot Studio. And here, it's always a best practice when you start creating a bot. Make sure that you create a solution well in advance, and then link that solution to the agent or the copilot which you're creating. So so this is how you can configure your solution, and then within that solution you can have one agent, two agent, or maybe a combination of solution including the apps, flows, and agents or copilot. So it will take you to that solution page. And now this bot is connected to airline score solution. Now airline score solution also has apps, it has cloud flows, but one of the component is Copilot Studio agent. So if I see this agent components, I can see different components like the agent, um, the topic, the type as topic, default component, and I can add other component related to agent just by clicking on add existing, and then click on more, and then I can add a component library. I can add other different things. If I go to app, I can add canvas model driven app. And if I want to add something related to, say, agent, I have whole bunch of options available which I can utilize to add all these components in the solution. So that's it, folks. This is all about the settings for a specific agent in Copilot Studio. Thanks for watching.